Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to finish the trip. We're going to finish this series about the trip that we had over Christmas. So,
Yeah, here we are again. So welcome back.
now we are back in Tota. So last time we were talking about Duitama and a little bit about Quitiba, I think. And we're going to start with Tota today when we return to Tota after I was in Duitama.
Yeah, and last time we mentioned that in this going back, we stopped a little bit in Quitiba, and you have this connection with the full moon. But after that, we spend the last days in the countryside in Guaquira, that is like the countryside region of Tota. So it's more like among the mountains. So how
On the
would
farm,
translate this? Yes, in the farm. We're helping a little bit in the farm.
milking cows and
Mm,
learning to milk cows.
yeah.
Helping your mom and making the fire in the morning,
Mm,
the Agnihotra fire
going to fire, collecting cow dung.
with sunrise.
Hmm. Yeah, and but in those days also we got some visits. So we were with more company, with more friends, and also we got some nice moments with them. So I remember that was this trip to the town to watch the murals in the town and to have some activities in the town that we needed some, I don't know, some libraries, not like some photocopies, or we just needed the town for some practical things.
And what a magical little town Tota is.
Mm.
That is with these old houses, and this is absolutely it's whimsical. It's incredible. And then you have these murals with incredible art, and that is what he went to show us the one night. We were walking with some relatives, right?
Yeah, it's my cousin and her boyfriend. They're very special, so they were with us, and he is like also a like graphic designer, so he was interested in the murals, and this little town is this combination of the kind of colonial house style, colonial architecture, but at the same time it has these images of traditional knowledge, but everything is just graphic. You can discover every detail there. So I guess we're gonna share, of course, the images in order for you to also explore all what you can find in those images.
We will, yeah. But I just want to take a moment and stop by the art that is here, that you find here everywhere, but especially in towns
Mm.
like that, but also in the city.
Yeah. Sogamoso was full of also a lot of murals.
Suamox had these incredible murals as well. Like,
Mm.
I am amazed. I have no words to describe the artistry that is here. Like, and sometimes you'll, like I said to my friends in
Mm.
Germany, you'll have the most simple dwelling, like a hut, and then with the roof like barely functional. But then this incredible, perfect mural, like art on the
Mm.
outside. And of course, the house we were staying in also has
We
incredible
were
art all
painting.
around.
We were
He was
painting with you. Like
painting.
you were helping us to. You also you start painting in the front of the house that you didn't finish, but we were like also doing that. Our house is like also based in the old style houses. Is in renovation, but we tried like to decorate. So we were painting too. What she said, the roof was bad, but we were trying to.
The roof was good.
But we were trying to put some expression on the walls. So yeah, it's part of our yeah.
It's unbelievable. And this is what I'm here for, right? To see
Mm.
these things. The consciousness that is being expressed in those paintings is powerful and is really future oriented. It is Eden timeline oriented. It is in coherence with the Eden timeline, much of it. Like the codes that are being transmitted, the symbolism in the many of the paintings, not all of them, of course.
Mm.
But I am amazed. I'm amazed. Like, And the people here aren't even that much into spirituality. Like it's a very different vibe from Europe, where you have very big. Well, there are, and people are just the way of life is spiritual, right? But is very different. It's much more down to earth and grounded, and but you would think. So I look at those paintings and I see like cosmic information, multidimensional information being transmitted through the painting, and I know the artist doesn't know that he's channeling that. He's just painting, but he's channeling like real, very coherent, multidimensional information, like about the building blocks of reality. Like it's coming through in the paintings, summarize like about the past, about the future. So that one mural in Tota was specifically was incredible. It was not just summarizing the past and connecting it with the future, but like some threads. But it was also it was awakening. It was activating. So you look at it and you it's like you start remembering something. Unbelievable. In that little town. So I was looking at the artist and I tried to find the artist on the internet, but I couldn't, because I was thinking, this person, I mean, he probably just channeled his art, or she, but I had difficulty believing that person was not spiritual at all, because it was so powerful.
Yeah, I think should be very interesting to know the person or the people. I'm wondering if it's just one person, but more than one that were doing that. But who is behind of the idea is very. I think they are very clear what they are drawing out, because they mix the context. I mean, it's not like a typical image that you find in maybe in other places, or they are copying something, or you say, oh, they just adapting, but they just really take elements from the region. I mean, really personalize about like the lake, the people, the farmers. Like we could see that this person really understand the dynamics of the place and put it in this very symbolic way to express that. Because when people see it, they see the face of the farmer, or they identify the lake, they identify the places where it belong, but full of these deep meanings that you discover easily. When even sometimes we spend like a couple of minutes and then later, oh, have you seen this little detail? Oh, it is appearing here, and it's like, yeah, it was like it wasn't like very random, I guess, like drawing, but yeah, and you're right. Like to get to the town, we need to take a couple of buses. The roads are not very perfect. Like it's not easy to get that, and then you arrive to this like little town with such as expressions is very impressive, very nice feeling. Like you feel in a very special place. So that visit was very interesting. We're gonna share the images also to give you an idea, or maybe to see what do you find, or maybe you find that that images is not that special after all, or maybe you're gonna find that the images are connected with something from your place, from your region, even being like far away or different countries or something. Will be interesting to know what they find in those images. Yeah.
Please share with us. Yeah. And this will connect us in future to talking about the topic of how to use art, also especially in urban environments, to help heal, to help heal community, to help raise the consciousness, to bring back love.
Yeah, if we explore a little bit more Bogota, we're gonna find that it has been a tool for helping many people, like in these social difficulties. The art and the expressions, and then these kids, these young people have like a wonderful mind, and they paint the city in such a wonderful way. So Bogota, or people who is interested in Colombia, if you come to Medellin, you will find a whole section that is just for artists, like street artists, and they have become that area. Before it was like a violent area. It was a very difficult time for them, like a lot of violence inside of the city. Even the police or the army couldn't be there because it was so violent there, was controlled by the illegality. But now it changed, and now it's taken by arts. All the young people that was involved in that before, now they became artists and transforming the city by the art, and also putting all this wake up information there. So also Medellin will be a nice place for people who is interested about that. Just to talk about that, just remember about that.
Isn't that encouraging to realize that the young people, like this big shift that is taking place in even these areas and the cities, it just shows that love is really returning to the earth, and people start channeling it without even knowing. It shows in their art, it shows in what they create. So we are creating a better future.
So talking about this young artist, Andrew was the guy who was visiting with my cousin Diana. So he is one of those. We ended up working together, and we were making a mural in one of the house walls. So I was making a tree with some branches, like random nature, and he drew a beautiful cat that was inspiring the farm's cat. So it was a beautiful combination, and we were just expressing through the art. So he was the guy who was visiting us, and it was very nice because that visit ended up like at night. We spent the whole afternoon, and then we returned very late. But you can imagine we don't have any public transportation. You use your cars or maybe your motor or your horses in the best.
Just walking the field roads at night, over the mountain, through the forest to the town.
So it was a wonderful night.
With the stars.
Wow.
You really like we're at that altitude, like the stars always feel like they're here.
Yeah, you sit very close to the sky, right? But also, it was a very beautiful night. It's usually cold, it wasn't, but that walk was very warm feeling because we have to walk like always climbing up. But the night has this nice atmosphere, this calm atmosphere that allowed us to share while we were walking, also to appreciate and to feel these this night magic, these night colors that are very different. It's not dark because it's night. Vice versa, it has its colors.
Which reminds me, it was just like it was a profound night for us because different factors came together. So it was, you had this feeling of you were really amongst family. And but in a way that is, you really feel like you belong, you feel at home, and not just in the people around you, but then you feel like you belong in the nature, in the path we were walking, the mountain, even the sky was holding us, the stars were greeting us, and that's what we were feeling. Like we were, it's like you feel inside of this womb almost, like all around, on all levels. That was powerful to experience that in such a powerful way, strong way, like on all levels so strongly. That is really special to have that moment. And that heals something inside of the body, like that this is a powerful anchor point that we all had.
It was like a family healing time. And we were like invocating our families. My mom was leading some toast, but using this hard way to make it this ceremonial, something very simple becoming a ceremony, like something that is it, from outside doesn't look very special, but the meaning that it carries is making it so important. So that night we were more than five of us, because they were invocating the spirit of their families, and they were with us, and they were connecting very strong, and it was a very magical night. Yeah.
Yeah, we were remembering loved ones who had passed on, and we could feel them with us. Yeah, with the stars. It was beautiful. Yeah, and we started getting into this flow of just, we were walking home, but it was this like one big ceremony, and we had, like, if we had an impulse to stop and think or talk about something, we would stop and automatically just and then have this very special moment, and then we continue on, and then we came to the forest and we were remembering some stories, and yeah.
The forest was so magical. I mean, this forest carries a lot of stories about people around living there, but it has its own way to receive us at that time and give us, and we were so connected that night that I remember something that really impressed me is when my cousin start to be so open and start to speak and to share with you, and she suddenly start to speak in the way that you spoke, like feeling the love from the earth and feeling the places, like speaking more like the way that you speak, like not just the normal thing that they explain, but even for her a little bit struggling with the expressions, but trying to say that I was really surprised when I trying to translate what she said or what she was trying to also say in English, and it was very, very, very interesting. I was very impressed because both of you were like very connected. But it was in the forest time when we were going through the forest. So yeah, it was very, very beautiful night because the forest is not far from home. So after the forest, we just start to climb down and we see the house far away. And my father was waiting for us with dinner, and yeah, it was like a beautiful time after we arrived because we felt we are complete now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and she was saying things like, "I can feel how the earth loves me."
Yeah.
For the first,
Mm.
that for me was really, I was, because since I was little, I was always feeling that, like with my perception being hyper aware of matter, and with that also of nature and the energies in nature, and how everything was created to love us, to take care of us. And then always having this pain that people cannot feel, apparently cannot feel, that people around me. So every time when someone says something like that, I'm like, okay, this makes my life worth living. This is really, really special for me to see people feel that too, and not just feel it but express it, be able to find words for it, and like to see people remembering. Basically, that is
Yeah.
that brings so much warmth back to the earth. Yeah.
Yes, and I guess like everyone was in that state also very connected with the surroundings and with the energy of that night. So it make it very beautiful night. And then yeah, we ended up with the ceremony of dinner, eating together, sharing, and it was very nice day. And yeah, so after that, you also got the opportunity in the coming days to go for the last time to the lake again, maybe to say goodbye or see you again soon. But also was quite hard, right? Going to the lake, coming back.
It was a hard day for me.
Yeah.
I was so cold.
But you were into the water finally.
Yeah, I went into the water. Yeah. The water is quite warm compared to the lakes for example, in Germany or Switzerland that come from the mountain, the streams that are fed by the mountain streams. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, actually, it's because you went, I guess, in the afternoon, and it used to be that the lake is so freezing in the morning, of course, because all the night cold, and sometimes could be like under the zero, like the air very cold. But because we are very high, also we get like more radiation, and the water like save that heat during the day, especially after midday, and in the afternoon it releases. So the atmosphere outside start to be cold because the sun is going, but the water still carries some heatness from the daytime. So the best time to go to the water was the time that you were like after, I don't know exactly what time, but in the afternoon is better. In the morning it should be like really cold in the morning. So, but you felt the warmness of the place and the water too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many memories of to way back were showing itself, like many images, I mean, coming up from, because water holds memory, just like crystals, just like quartz. Um, yeah, and you can connect through any information, to any information, through time, by attuning to that with your mind. Yeah,
Yes.
so it was really beautiful. I think we talked about it already before. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And so yeah, I think that those days also we were walking to the river that used to be a river before, and now was like a dried stream, but we can see that the water is still there because it's surrounded by big trees, huge trees. So we were like walking a little bit and seeing the water from another perspective, from the origins. Like if we analyze the water cycle, we see that the lake full of water and always like very big, but we say, where is the water coming from? Like, and if we see this stream dry, but the water is there. But it's true that that we have to recover like the natural balance, because the lake is sick, the lake is struggling, the water is heavily struggling. Yeah. So one of the big tasks of people there is to return into this knowledge and this information, this feeling, to start to interact in a better way with nature, and to see the logic and how it works and return to that logic, and to preserve, not because someone tell her, oh, it should be preserved, man, but they understand and they feel what is like the nature cycles, and they just follow that. So we are trying to, yeah, the word reflecting on that, yeah, walking on the places, yeah.
So that is part of your heart's wish, right? For that to happen in that area, that people find that logic again, that natural, connect with that natural balance again, that natural rhythm.
Yes.
And
Yeah, also that is why we were visiting the mountains, in order to understand. Like from the mountains, you can see the whole system, like the places, the region, you organize the place. But also because in the mountain is where also the collecting water starts, if we see from a geographical perspective. So we have to recover the sacredness of the mountains. And this sacredness that is represented around the world from different symbols or ideas is basically because the nature there have a special process to make alive all the biology and all the ecologic around us.
there's a perfect system that perfectly supports human life. Not just supports, but amplifies it, helps it flourish and amplify and grow. It's perfectly created for that. And in a place like that, you can really see how there's this perfect ecosystem created by the creator right in the beginning. And
Perfect.
yeah, and in a place like that, the elements needed for that become so obvious, that are needed, the elements that keep this balance in place, this ecosystem functioning, they're easy to spot. And I think so. This is what our time in on the farm there was about a lot. Also, to because from my perspective, I really feel like we immersed ourselves in the land, in the countryside, and in the country life. Also, it's total immersion and feeling it. So I was feeling it on all levels, and also feeling the history, feeling the potentials for the future. And I was listening to you telling every now and again, talking about what you wish would change in the area and what you see, like your visions and your wishes for the future. And then you were also telling me about the history and about the legends that of how the lake started, and how that whole ecosystem with the lake, which is a kind of a different ecosystem than without a lake, how that started. And I remember what you were feeling when you were talking about how the river was dried out and now there are growing crops on top of that hill, from where you have the most amazing view of the lake and the mountains. And the natural river from the mountain down is dried out, and it's the water is not going the natural way anymore, and everything is changed and manipulated, and the natural order is disturbed. And you were feeling so much, and that was really moving me. But this story that you told about how the lake started was like incredible. This legend is really interesting. It really brought me back to creating some images that really connect us to the natural order of things, of how God created the world in this perfect balance, everything. So the water coming, for example, talking about the water coming down, first reaching the top of the hill, and that one water drop that splits and then part of it flows this way and part of it flows the other way down the mountain, and that's how the streams start, the water streams coming down on, and that's why the top of the mountain is sacred. And I was just seeing this image of the top of the mountain indeed being this receptor with the water coming, and there in that place so close to the stars you really feel it. That water coming down is like it doesn't just come from the sky, it comes from the ether, from the cosmos, from the stars at the same time. That's how it feels. Bringing that information to the top of the mountain, and that's the first place where it makes contact with matter. That water that carries that information makes contact with the earth, and through the earth with the humans that live on the earth. Bringing that information, and every time it rains, bringing that information fresh, keeping us, reminding us, if we let it flow in the natural way, if we let it talk to us and not disturb the order because we try to make money or something. So there was a beautiful image that you gave us there, or gave me.
Yeah, so that yeah, it was a very nice moment too, being there and visualizing all of that, and also seeing how the next generation also is going to work on that. I mean, like the kids that we still see there, because before was young people trying to escape from the rural areas, like trying to find a better future and fortune in the cities, so they were abandoned the countryside. But many of us are trying to go back there, and we see that the kids that are growing there and they will to stay there is they are who are going to change and start to do that soon. Yeah.
We see this shift in consciousness happening, this shift in attitude, like people are wanting to return. I'm amazed, like, yeah.
So that mountain there was also the place that you choose. Even before that, you were like always wanted to go to that mountain and to see that. Even once you went alone, once we went together, and that place was like important, and you wanted to end the trip there. I mean, like the day before, and to have to your moment there. And I was wondering, like, all the ideas or the things that came to your mind after visualizing what you visualize these days in Curitiba, in Duitama, in Sogamoso, uh, in the Emerald areas, Otanche, Chiquinquirá, all these places that we visited. And just about to leave Boyaca for this time. But what was for you, like, if you give us like this big idea of how did you organize all of that in your spirit, in your mind, and before leaving that?
So I before we left, I was doing like a ceremony where working with on top of the mountain with some elements and putting some things there, and to support my work, to support the work we are doing, trying to help heal the future, create a better future. But it would be way too much to mention all that I was summarizing for myself and anchoring it into the earth that had happened, all the knowledge that I'd been collecting, but for me it connects to what we were talking about. So we were on top of the mountain and we were talking about the origins of the lake and the water, and we were like envisioning the water once again, like coming down on from the top of the mountain and flowing down in those natural pathways, in those natural streams. We were basically envisioning the future, how it's going to be again, and because it will be, it can be, and it will. And we were talking about the children as well. Like you had this vision for how to help awaken this remembering, or help guide the children in their remembering, because they are already remembering. But how to use the schooling, for example, to shift, to give them stories instead of dogma, and stories that spark their imagination and help them connect the old stories with their own, and with actualizing that future where those streams come down the mountain in the natural way again. So we were talking about that, how to help the children bring that future about. And he was telling me the legend of the lake, of this beast, this being inside of the lake, from which that got bound and from then turned into water, and that's how the lake started. Which was so beautiful. I was just listening to the story, and I immediately saw this image. Yeah, this is what the children need to hear. These stories. It will spark their imagination, and they will connect it with this modern world that they experience, and they will alchemize it into something that will bring about that future that we are now trying to initiate, that return to nature. And what came to me at that moment was then also at the same time, so those stories are important, and letting them, and that natural way of living that they already partially experience on the farms there, just connecting with nature there, feeling themselves as part of the cosmos, feeling themselves basically as children of the cosmos. And then what came to me was also the importance of integrating that, all those beautiful things, with the reality of the modern world, of degeneration, of artificiality, to, in these stories that we give the children, to also not forget to mention, to talk about the things that are not nice, the artificiality, the way people live in the cities, the darkness even, and all these bad things, these things that we do that are really bad for us and our health and all of that, and to make it part of the story, and to so as to help them feel that even those things that are harming us, that until now have been destroying us, now is the time when we can use them to help us. We can turn them, we have the power. We can turn them into a tool that actually helps bring about this beautiful future. Now, that's what came to me while I was listening to your story, the importance of that. And on top of this very special hill, this mountain behind that we climbed a few times, is this very big cell phone tower, which is like awful.
Anyone.
Is terrible, right?
Yeah.
And that is exactly, I started with that a while ago already. I had so much resistance in the past to all of these artificial frequencies that someone like me is very sensitive to, of course. And it caused me so much pain in the past, and also my health, and battling with that and trying to find peace with that, because it's all over the world.
More and more.
Yeah. And I had, last year, I had really started turning it around for me, like healing my relationship with all that darkness and degeneration and all those bad things in the artificial world, even the cities, that even cities can bring life. Like I'd really started changing my perception, and because our perception is what shapes reality. And if I can see like these cell phone towers here emitting those frequencies that are loud inside my head, if I can imagine them emitting frequencies that help humanity wake up in some way, if I can make that connection for myself, then that's how it will be. And I had started applying that, and then I started experiencing it. Even things like AI, like helping the consciousness grow instead of capturing it, turning around. So I started working with cell phone towers specifically in Switzerland.
Oh, wow.
More directly, already before in the Netherlands, but then, and then in France, of course, but then in Switzerland I started doing, like going to the cell phone tower. For the first time I did it there, underneath it or close to it, and then working with the frequencies that I hear, and with the plants, and with the images, and with the mind, and like making these connections and imagining it transmitting frequencies across the whole world that actually help, that wake people up, that transmit information that brings healing. And